is the final game of my weird little mishmash of games I submitted. I guess we're in the 480p block, technically. Oh, let me get this out of the way. So welcome to Zombie Panic in Wonderland. Technically the follow-up to Little Red Riding Hood's Zombie Barbecue from the 3DS, but doesn't really play the same. Alright, so we're doing any percent new game normal. Let me just make sure the difficulty setting is correct. Yes, it is. And we will get going in 3, 2, 1, go. So you're just this little Japanese boy trying to go home. And you go into a store and a zombie attacks you. What do you do? Well, the answer is you blow up everything. So the speed tech in this is, you have to get the cleanup meter to 100%. And you do that by not just killing enemies, but by destroying environmental pieces. You'll want to do that a lot because some of these hold ammo for your special weapons. Also, at certain points I'm going to focus in on very specific environment pieces because if I don't destroy them fast enough, they'll end up blocking parts of the level where other enemies spawn. And I really want to destroy that building on the left because that is where a bunch of ammo drops appear. So these bald zombies can be a real problem if they start appearing as parts of large groups. Because they usually won't throw stuff at you, but they will try to grab onto you so that you can't avoid getting hit by other guys. The ninjas will just flip out of the way of like most of what you try to do, so you can get around that by just setting most of them on fire, because they can't avoid that. I'm being very careful about my flamethrower use in particular. See, I'm firing in these short little spurts, because flamethrower ammo can drain pretty fast. And it's an incredibly useful thing to have for just about every enemy in the game. Except for these skeletons. You definitely want the heavy machine gun for that. I'm also going to try and wait most of the time for enemies to completely get out of the ground and start moving, because otherwise, like sometimes your shots just won't register on them. Alright, that was pretty fast. Alright, so we see these dwarves running around, some of which are blue, some of which are green. And they seem to be tied somehow to the zombie outbreak that's going on. Plot is amazing. Oh, it gets better. Wait until you see the climax. Okay, this is a problem. There's the flamethrower. Knew it was around here somewhere. these guys, you want to use the machine gun. Really just about knowing what weapon to use on what enemy. Also helps if you know where certain items are going to appear. Sometimes enemies will drop stuff, but it's not the most reliable thing. You've probably noticed that I haven't been using my grenades as much. And there is a reason for that, and it has to do with the level right after this one. Just for the record, because I haven't had to do it yet, you can dodge around / through all these projectiles that are getting thrown at you. But you don't want to do it too much, because this guy's dodge animation is pretty slow. Part of the reason that the category is listed the way it is because you can unlock other characters for subsequent playthroughs of the game. And they have different dodge animations. Well, some of them do. Specifically, a faster dodge animation. Okay, good. Now this boss, the strategy is to just use every grenade that I've gathered to this point. Oh, he skipped a cycle. Nice. Okay, that was a really good boss fight. So the boss mentioned something about scented dwarves. And now we're here. No real rhyme or reason to a lot of what goes on in this game. Also, those crows function a little strangely. Basically, they have a hitbox which sometimes appears, sometimes doesn't, before they do their attack. There's a way to make it register a little more consistent. By the way, just in case anybody's curious, there are extra lives you can earn in this game. But, one, they're usually either hidden in the background pretty well, or you have to get a ridiculous amount of points. hate when it does that. Sometimes they'll all spawn together, sometimes they won't. Alright, so now along the way we're going to end up at a graveyard. Just because it's along the way. Now there are these big gates blocking off most of the stage, so we're going to do what we did at the very beginning of the game. Now the annoying thing about this stage is it doesn't have very many item drops. So I have to be a little more picky about like the items that I'm going to use. Most of the items are kind of off to the left and hidden under some of those headstones. Damn, okay. I was hoping to not lose a life until I got to the castle stage, but we'll make do. I'm trying not to use my items for two reasons. One, the item drops that I mentioned before, or lack thereof. And two, there is a boss right after this stage. And it's one that tends to be a bit tanky. I am out of flamethrower, that is a problem. Alright, so hold A to not die? Well, technically I'm holding B because A is the grenades. Now for this guy, if I get the right movement patterns and attacks, I won't have to dodge at all. But that's extremely rare. Because we're going to fight the Tin Man. Yes, Wizard of Oz Tin Man. Ideally for bosses you want to have the flamethrower, because it'll do damage over time. And like, as long as the flame is active, it'll slowly sap away at their health. Every time a boss comes up, I'll just hit it with the flamethrower, wait until the flames die down, and then hit it again. Alright, that's one of the more time-consuming levels in the game. Oh, I was shooting the road because some power-ups can appear there. That's Dorothy with us, by the way. And we're heading to the castle where Snow White is accosting a guard who turns out to be a zombie, and Snow White does not care. Oh wait, that's the next level. This is the winter stage, which we take to get to that castle in the background. Alright, I got a little ahead of myself. So, I can't remember which poet it was that said, "Good fences make good neighbors." Robert Frost, maybe? But, it applies here more so because that's where most of the weapon drops are. I'm specifically trying not to shoot down those trees. Well, never mind. A couple of them just fell over anyway. Because you can actually use those to quick kill one of the enemies that appears later. Sancta sort of functions like a mini-boss, but not really. Although he does give you an extra life. What's annoying about the projectiles those things throw is that they have an aura that lingers after their tosses, so you can end up getting damaged by that even after avoiding the initial hits. Skeletons, there's kind of a weird way to neutralize them because all of them are right-handed. And there is individual limb damage in this game, so if you just want to put off dealing with them until later, you can just shoot off their right arm, and they'll be completely helpless. Okay, so now Snow White accosts the guards at the royal castle. And, shockingly, they turn out to be zombies. This is where heavy machine gun fire really comes in handy, because a lot of these guys are going to be wearing armor. the game here is just getting the castle walls down as fast as you can. Because those block off, like, all the places where you could potentially get items. Aside from a couple of things in front of the castle. I hate how sometimes the hitbox on the crows is really inconsistent. I'm actually shooting below them and it's registering as hits. These guys can be a little hard to see because they're red skeletons on like red tinged background. At least for me, but then again I'm colorblind, so. Just trying to make do with what we got. There we go. Alright, so the scented dwarves are apparently causing the zombie outbreak. And Prince Charming is infected. So he's going to be the final boss. He has also weaponized the dwarves and is trying to use them against us. Be dangerous, but you do have to like dodge through that in order to avoid taking hits from it. More often than not, you'll run out of space just trying to walk away from it. Time is going to come up soon. Time. And that is like 12 seconds off of world record. So, long story short, Prince Charming engineered a love potion so that people would like admire him, love him, and then used a bunch of these dwarves to try and spread it among the people. But the potion was too powerful, and it basically turned everybody into love-crazed zombies. So that was my bizarre block of love zombies, giant exploding robots, skateboarding, and Shaquille O'Neal. I don't know, you find the common thread. And, I believe, the next runner is here, so I'm gonna go ahead and sign off and let him do his thing. Thanks for having me for this marathon. Keep donating, guys. I know we'll hit that goal. See ya.